Okay, let's move on to the post credits, which I know, Alex, you were trying to get to just now.
Yeah, jump in the gun.
Do you know what Essex Corp is, Gian?
Isn't it that I forget his name, Mr. Sinister?
Yeah.
It's like his company.
His real name was Nathaniel. Was Nathan?
Nathaniel.
Was Nathan Essex.
Yeah, it's Mr. Sinister.
It's Nathaniel Drake.
And that was like I had to like kind of dig back a little bit. I was like, where the hell?
They had to go do a bit of research on it to see what was this.
I think it's. I guess it's a good turn to make after Apocalypse. But if am I wrong? Am I right in the comics and the cartoons? Sinister was still a puppet of Apocalypse.
Yeah,
and he
Apocalypse
was still
made him, right?
Yeah, and he was still afraid of Apocalypse. Now Apocalypse is dead.
Well, in the comics,
Yeah.
Sinister was the one who actually found Apocalypse and released him. He was one of the followers that believed there was an ultimate mutant, the first mutant.
Yeah, I kind of remember that. All I remember is that like on the hierarchy, Apocalypse definitely was above.
Well, it was Apocalypse and it was Mr. Sinister kind of thing. And then, then there were the Sentinels, which was another
timeline.
Another timeline.
Just another one.
The darkest timeline.
But here we have a character which they're probably going to introduce in the next, which is probably going to come in Wolverine 3. So because of, you saw that they had the blood vial of Wolverine,
Yeah.
which of course they wrote Weapon X, that leads to them cloning a female version of Wolverine called X-23.
Not that Asian chick.
Yeah, not
No.
the Asian chick with the.
That was another,
Fire.
she wasn't a clone at all, she was just a
Yeah,
separate-
no.
Yeah, she
just
was a separate experiment.
Do you know anything about the history of X-23?
I don't remember.
Naruto.
I can
So-
honestly say I have no recollection of it.
Well, it looks like the end credits reveal what's going to be coming in Wolverine 3.
Yeah, this is Hugh Jackman's last role, isn't it? As Wolverine,
As well.
or as last solo movie.
Last solo movie.
Last solo movie, yeah.
Okay, so he's,
So it looks like the next X-Men movie is going to be set again in the 80s.
oh my word. Oh, well, they're in the 80s now, are they? Or in the 70s?
It's 87. Yeah, it's 80s. 80s and 70s, yeah. Right about
No,
that.
actually, didn't they say welcome to the 80s?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it is the 80s.
So the next movie will be set in the 80s, and this was like, from what I looked at, the timeline shows that because of the Phoenix, they're going to have the Dark Phoenix storyline come through. Once again, who can defeat the Phoenix?
Wolverine.
So Wolverine.
They made it kind of weird though now, because like in
She helped him.
X-Men they're the same age, and in this X-Men she's like 15.
She's 15.
He's like 41.
It's a bit rapey now. They're supposed to,
But I mean, he
they're
ages
supposed-
differently, right?
Yeah, well,
yeah,
that's,
he never
he's
ages.
like 106 and she's like 15.
Oh, so if you
Yeah,
actually think
right,
about
doesn't
it,
make it better.
so what you're saying is that like even when she is like 40, it's still rape at that point.
It's
'cause
like the
it's-
time gap.
Yeah, that time gap. It's just like, you're 150, I'm 30. It's just never gonna
They're
work.
supposed to fall in love.
It's like somebody said, you are 16, going
You
on
know?
the years, you are 150, I'm
Okay.
going on 40. But,
I wonder if
I
they
did think about that. I was like, that's a little weird. They're supposed to fall in love.
Look,
and
well, as Jean was saying, they went and tapped into the Wolverine thing again, and now they've changed it where in Wolverine movie, we saw how he was experimented on and became Weapon X,
yeah.
and then he broke free, and they showed us a different scene where he started killing all the scientists and got loose. Now all of a sudden, he was already trapped.
Yes, but remember, Days of Future Past rewrote history.
Okay, so let me put it this way: you've got 4 people here who like know the series really well. Someone shouldn't ask us who's Wolverine and how was he made and how did he escape?
Yeah.
And like there should be a big debate about it. It's such a fundamental piece of like the law that like and that's what bothers me. They just keep like messing with it.
Yeah, it's always different.
It's like-
I mean, now Jean is there
But yeah,
and
it's
like
like,
wipes his mind.
which
or
version
something.
of the X-Men or the Wolverine origin story now is your favorite?
Do
It's
you
like,
think Wolverine just wakes up randomly, like in his?
he's like, oh my god, I'm back.
It's Groundhog Day, guys. It's Groundhog Day every day.
He just like wakes up and he's like,
that is
oh my God.
the darkest Groundhog Day.
He just wakes up in the chamber being full of adamantium every day.
So let's just get your final verdicts. Alex, your score out of 10 for X-Men Apocalypse.
I'm gonna give it like a 6. It was still good to watch. Or
Jeez.
actually a 7. I'll give it a 7.
I was going to say, 6 doesn't mean it's good to watch.
No, I'll give it a 7. It's still it's
flat 7.
yeah. Well, like I said to my other friend that I wanted to see it. I'm like, it's not a bad movie, but it's by no means a great movie
Well,
either.
let's
It's
just put it this way before you give your scores. How do we rate the film? In the sense that, would you go watch it again the next day? Let's put it that way.
See, I have to go two ways in terms of voting for a movie. In that sense, it's or rating and voting. When I first see a movie, I see it as an entertainment point of view.
Second time I start criticizing.
Second time, it's where like the 3D stuff comes in or the film studies comes in, and then we check. Obviously, we're not at their level, so we can't say what a cuck director. Like, would we even thought of that? Probably not. But look at it from that point of view. As an entertainment point of view, I probably my mind my mind travelled, wandered more than once in the film.
Yeah.
So 6.5, 7.
Me and Rob caught me out staring at a bug.
Yeah, and Rob was slurping his slushy when it's finished. Only when the silent parts happen. Only. This year. Rob, what the shit? Your drink's finished.
Okay, so, Alex, give me your score.
Still a 7.
Warren?
Between 6.5 and 7.
I'm gonna go with a 5.5.
Yo!
No, sorry. I just like out of all the movies in the series, I thought it was the weakest. I actually found myself getting bored.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
about 2/3 of the way
I
through.
know.
I actually, during the film, every now and again, I looked at Gian to see if he was asleep or if he was awake. I wasn't sure.
No, I
Or
was
just
awake.
fuming with
So the
rage.
question there is, who was more bored? That you were actually thinking about him?
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
That's a good point. That you were bored enough to even think
I
about your
personally
friend.
give the film a 6 out of 10 because it was very flat.
Mm.
I was let down completely once again. The supervillain was lame. And I look at it and say, I watched Batman vs Superman and I went again to see it.
Can we
I
criticize a movie being bad considering like the visual effects wasn't like up to par as well?
Yeah, we said that. We said that.
But I mean that's the thing. Like like I sometimes think I'm biased.
So let's go like the storyline, good or bad.
I'll give the story a 6.
Okay. Visual effects.
A 5 because that was shit.
A 5. Okay. Post credits.
That was fine.
That was fine.
There was no CG there.
Okay. Warren, your answers there. Storyline. Plot.
It was decent, I guess. So I'll give it a 7. For CG, majority of the time it was really good. Just the problem was those parts that were bad were really bad. It wasn't like
it's unacceptable for a movie of that level.
yeah, what $200 million?
A $200 million budget. Let's just say 150 million of that dollar, or let's just say 100 million of that is just to CGI, and you come out with crap like that. That's just to me, it's
we're in
unacceptable.
2016. There's no excuse for like
Yeah.
bad looking.
I mean, if it was 2012, I could sort of see
2012 was actually bad CG. There was just so much happening.
happening. Yeah, I mean, then I could say technology limitations, computer limitations, bandwidth, all that. But in 2016, when we have shit like Ender's Game and fucking Batman vs Superman and all this other shit where the whole movie, like 90%, Jungle Book,
Civil War, Jungle Book, which was amazing.
those things are like, to me, blurring the lines of like, Uncanny Valley and that kind of crap. But then you have that, and you're like, no.
We
not
figured
allowed.
those were filler shots. We're assuming that like,
Maybe
you know what,
after the movie.
this was in the script, but
would
we
you
forgot to
say
put it in.
that, before we wrap off here on X-Men Apocalypse, would you say that this was just an introduction to the next film? That's it.
Yeah, but I mean, nonetheless, it still doesn't mean
It's
drop
still-
the quality
Yeah.
here and there. Hopefully, the producers weren't the ones dipping their fingers in the soup the whole time, like Fantastic Four,
Yeah.
because that's what ruined that movie from at least what all the
From
rumors
what we hear.
yeah, rumor-wise.
Okay,
But, yeah.
let's.
So
let's
your
end.
final, what is this, 5.5
You gave 5.5. I gave 6,
or 6.5?
6.5, and you gave a 7. So pretty much we all agree that we sucked. Let's leave it there before we move on to our Star Wars quiz.